Hallow Ian.
Forever. Good evening, Stephen.
Hello, Brian.
How's it going on this most festive and patriotic of weekends?
I am dying because of the heat.
It is unpleasant outdoors and indoors. Yes, it is hot out here in the eastern part of the Midwest. We were talking a little bit before we started recording. I was at the funeral home and at a funeral today in which I was a pallbearer. So I was wearing a suit and carrying a large casket all morning. So I am dehydrated from sweating. So I'm pouring some beers on top of that. See what happens. All that aside, I do have one for you, Steve. And are you willing and able to accept one?
I am prepared. I have been prepping all day in various ways. This is the first time I turned a light on in my house this week.
Yeah.
I like to sit in the dark when it's hot. So
Sure.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm willing. I put a shirt on for you guys. So
Aw,
I'm ready to receive one.
what a sweetheart. I have half a shirt, as you can see, for those of you who are watching the Discord. I've got a part of a shirt on. Anyway, aside from this heat aside, I got a whole mess of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking about not having any more kids, right? Getting a vasectomy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how that healthcare is. It's quite expensive. So instead of getting a proper vasectomy, I've just been pounding myself in the nuts lately. I just been beating the shit out of my testicles, Stephen, in hopes of making myself sterile so I don't have any more kids. You know how people do a thing like that?
Sure, I guess. I mean, I usually pay for that, but
Sure.
hey.
Well, I'm kind of a DIY guy, but anyway, I decided that maybe it wasn't working. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor did confirm that testicular trauma was not the same as having a vasectomy.
Mm.
And I said, "Doc, can you explain to me what the difference is?" And he said, "Well, there's a vast difference."
Oh God! All this way for that.
Goes to a very traumatic Showdown episode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. Who's that handsome boy over there? Who do we got here with us this fine month?
Sorry, Jack. Hallow's back.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Yeah, we got our old pal, Hallow Ian, joining us. Welcome once again. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, it is not quite as hot here in the Pacific Northwest as it is over there, and I'm not jealous.
And you shouldn't be. It is horrific. It's impossible to go outside. It's like being on the goddamn surface of the sun. But like we were saying before we started recording, take this earth from us, Peter Thiel. Give it a try, because it is soon to be uninhabitable. Go fuck yourself. It is unbelievably hot out. So we are sitting inside sweating instead of sitting outside sweating. And we're going to talk a little bit today about some childhood trauma flicks. But we got a couple other things we got to do at the top of the show. First of all, well, you know it, I know it. We got to spin that goddamn wheel for August, believe it or not. I know we haven't even dipped our toes in the July Showdown episode yet. We're about to get into that, but we got to spin that wheel because we got to get it over on on the social medias on the Patreon for y'all to give it a little time to pick. So we're going to go back to that spinny ass wheel. And while Steve brings that up, I'll explain to you what that means. We deliver you some spicy, sticky, sweet, nasty, stinky content on the internet every damn Monday. The first 3 Mondays of the month, we do what's called a Showdown episode. That's where me, Steve, and our guest this time, obviously our friend Ian, is here with us, and we are going to each pick a movie associated with a particular topic. We're going to talk about those movies. We're going to argue, and then somebody's going to take home that Son of a Bitch Championship strap for the month. The way we get that potential topic is we got the spinny ass wheel with about a bajillion topics on it that are suggested by us and our listeners and our social media friends and a ton of people. And we put them on the spinny ass wheel. We spin it 3 times. We get 3 of them. We put it out in the social medias and our Patreon, our Discord, Patreon Discord, for y'all to vote on which one you want. So it is about that time for us to spin that wheel and get our 3 picks for Ian's to vote on. So here comes the first pick.
Ooh, buddy.
Ooh, I'm jotting it down. We have best of our old pal Christopher Lee. So the best of Christopher Lee. I like that. We were just talking about Anton LaVey and Christopher Lee. They were talking about him on the last podcast episode with Anton LaVey. So I like that. It's fortuitous.
Interesting.
All right. Next, we got Greek/Roman mythology. A little bit less on the nose, I suspect. I mean, we could talk about a damn Medusa, a damn centaur, anything that's I guess there's
pretty sure there's some Minotaur movies out there.
I was going to say, I'm trying to think of a Minotaur movie that it's actually kind of a horror film, because of course you think immediately of those, like, you know, kind of Harryhausen style ones that are based on Greek and Roman mythology, but I'm sure there's some other ones out there. But boy, I like a Medusa. If you can get some hair with snakeums in him, I like that. All right, that's an interesting one. Greek and Roman mythology. I don't think that's come up on the wheel yet.
No.
All right, let's see what number 3 is. Okay, I don't know exactly what this means.
I don't know what this means either.
All right, we might have to figure out who suggested this one. No, I like it. Okay. Let's figure out what the fuck it means. It is non-horror horror.
Okay.
Here's what I'm gonna guess that means.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll figure out who suggested this one, and maybe we'll need to get some elaboration on it. But I'm gonna guess non-horror horror means scary parts or scary scenes or something like that, or horror that occurs in what would consider to be otherwise a non-horror movie. Does that make sense? Do you think I'm on the right track there?
Maybe. I was also thinking along the lines of, like, it's a movie that, like, has situations that would be considered horror in a different context, like some sort of like social anxiety or something like that, or
okay.
But I don't know.
This feels like an opportunity to do like David Lynch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It could be things that are like not technically horror, but are scary.
Yeah.
Or disturbing or frightening otherwise.
Yeah. I like kind of where you and Ian are with this, Brian, because if you're saying like a scene, obviously that Mulholland Drive jump scare gets referenced all the time. But the rest of Mulholland Drive isn't that scary. Like it has weird moments and everything. So I think if you can find like a really scary scene in a movie that isn't horror, is maybe the answer to
Large Marge and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and we might need to specify this when we put on the votes, because if it's Large Marge or the bum outside the diner in Mulholland Drive, those are individual scenes, but it could also be like Jurassic Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a horror movie, but nobody would say Jurassic Park's a horror movie. But when someone's damn arm comes off, or somebody gets munched by big dang old lizard off a turlet, that's pretty horrific. So maybe we need to clarify that and reword it when we vote, just to specify.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah. But we'll think on that one. But yeah, I think it could be interesting, but also, I don't know. I feel like Christopher Lee's in the front running right now. But maybe
I would think so. Of those three, that feels like the one that's going to run away with it. But just to recap, here's what you got to vote on, and you should go over onto the social medias at Halloween is Forever on all the places, the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Blue Skies and things like that. And you're going to get an opportunity to pick from best of Christopher Lee, Greek/Roman mythology, or non-horror horror. So 3 really left field topics there, which I like a lot.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, Brian. We are thinking Christopher Lee's in the front running, but I don't know. Maybe Odyssey Fever is going to grip up the audience, and they're all going to vote for that Greek mythology.
Yeah, they're all boned up. They're all boned up on Greek or Roman mythology. Could be the case. Well, if you haven't already, like I said, go over and check us out. And there also, if you have topics you want to suggest, slide on an old DM, send them our way. We will 100% throw them on the spinning ass wheel. And when they come up, you can say, "Hey, I picked that one." Maybe we'll pick it for an episode. Also, maybe you got any old suggestions. Maybe you got a punishment episode for whoever wins the showdown. They get to bestow a punishment episode. For the fourth Monday in the month. If you got suggestions there, you can send it our way as well. If you want to send just an old-fashioned email, you can do that as well. HalloweenIsForeverPod@gmail.com. I know, Ian, you've got some exciting stuff coming up. We were talking about a little bit before we hit record. Why don't you, first of all, maybe for those of you who are out there that don't know who Ian is, and maybe you haven't heard him on our show before, this has probably got to be your dang old, 4th or 5th time on the show at least.
I think it's actually 5th or 6th. I think I'm like, it's like Ben, Kelly, then me as far as guests go. At least in the last 2 years, yeah.
Well, tell them who you are, tell them what you're doing, and then you got some exciting stuff to talk about.
So I am the producer, writer, and host of a television show called the Hallow Ian Horror Hour. Check it out on Tubi. Find us at hallowianhorrorhour.com. We're kind of a horror host program, but more of a scariety show, if you will. We show independent short films, music videos, do interviews with horror creatives, and every October we put out 4 new episodes for local TV here in the Seattle area. And we'll be filming season 4 in 2 weeks from today.
Season 4 is on the horizon, guys.
Yeah.
So if you don't already, easiest place if you don't live in the Seattle area to check you out is
Tubi
YouTube
or
Tubi, right?
Yeah, YouTube or Tubi. We're both of those places. We do have a spin-off podcast ourselves where we talk about all sorts of stuff. Steve was actually on our episode that just came out where we were talking about some music, where he introduced me to a local to you all, Drew in the Blue, who I believe has been on your pod before. We're going to show some of his music videos on our show this year. So very exciting.
Love me some Drew in the Blue. I was just listening to, they came up on my Spotify not that long ago. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite handsome rock and roll boys. Yes, definitely check out if you like spooky, if you like ooky, you're gonna 100% love the Hallow Ian Horror Hour. So go check it out. Like I said, on the Tubies or on the YouTubes, and you don't got to wait until Halloween. There's a bunch of old ones out there, right? You can catch up. If you
all
haven't watched
3 seasons are available on YouTube, so head on over there and check it out. We've even got massive videos that contain every single episode, so you can just turn that on. 8 hours of content right there for you.
while you're working for the man, while you're answering the emails, while you're doing whatever the hell you do for a living, put it on the background. All right, let's get into pick number 2. And Steven, tell us about your childhood trauma movie.
So on to my trauma. And my trauma is twofold, I think. It is being being confronted with a lot of things I wasn't ready for at 12, as well as just sending me down a path. The trauma is the lasting effects that it caused me.
Okay.
and the way it caused aberrant thinking in my life. but all the way back in the year 1996, I saw the movie Sergeant Kabukiman NYPD, as released by Troma Films, directed by Lloyd Kaufman, written by Lloyd Kaufman, and it is also co-produced by Namco. Yes, that's right, Pac-Man Namco.
Yeah, so weird.
Because the cocaine was still fucking good in 1990.
Because it was ripping.
Yeah. So I can't find I didn't find a full story. I'm sure it's out there, but the story goes that in Toxic Avenger 2, Lloyd Kaufman, because a lot of that occurs in Japan, audience members saw that.
And they shot it all. They shot it, most of it in Japan too, right?
Right. Yeah. I believe, they shot most of it in Japan. But because of all those connections, what winds up happening is, some of the top brass at Namco starts wheeling and dealing with Troma to make a Japanese themed superhero movie. And they give $1.5 million to Troma to make.
It's too much. It's too much money to give to Troma.
It's too much.
Don't do it. They are going to do irresponsible things with that money.
They totally will, and they totally did. Apparently, the entire budget for Sergeant Kabukiman was $4 million and was one of the largest budgets they've ever worked with. So, yeah, they go on to make this movie, but they run into problems because Lloyd Kaufman is a stickler to his craft. And the Japanese investors, they wanted a marketable film, and Lloyd Kaufman wanted a Troma film.
Yeah.
And what happens is they wind up...
They didn't know who they were dealing with.
Yeah, they didn't know who they was fucking with.
Clearly.
And what winds up happening is Lloyd Kaufman winds up making 2 versions of this film. And he screens the original unrated, uncut version multiple times at Cannes. He just takes it to the Cannes Film Festival and screens it, but it never really is picked up for distribution because it's fucking insane. Eventually, at some point, they are convinced to cut down to a PG-13 version of the film, and they put out the PG-13 version of the film in 1996. But they put it out at the same time with the R-rated version. And I don't know exactly what happened to me, but what happened is I went to an Eagle video, a giant Eagle. It was actually one in Ohio. I remember it specifically. I remember where I got the video. I remember where this happened to me. But you see the cover of the video, you see the back case of the video, especially the PG-13 version, and it features a lot of the silly stuff. And there is, like clown gags. There's a lot of funny things in this movie. The movie's actually very funny. But the PG-13 movie...
That might be a bit of an overstatement, but sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my nostalgia. I've probably seen this movie fucking 10 times now, so who knows?
Yeah. Very funny. I'm going to take exception with the phrase very funny. It is mildly amusing at points.
I don't know. I don't think you're listening to enough of the background ADR. The background ADR is where it's at, bud. It
is telling you it's funny because it's like, whoop, whoop. Yeah. Like there's just a lot of cartoonish sounds.
But yeah, so I go to an Eagle video and I pick it up, and we were kind of on a rental plan, that Eagle video, and I think you get like 3 movies for whatever. I don't know what it was, but I showed it to my mom and I say, "Hey mom, can I get this video?" And she looked it over. She looked over the cover. Obviously the back cover says PG-13, and just general things going well. She says, "Yeah, sure, you can get this." And I don't know if there was a mix-up at the counter or if there was a mix-up at the video warehouse or whatever it was, but I did not get the PG-13 version of this movie.
Yeah, that's a different experience. That's a different animal.
Yeah, and that's a real different animal when you're 12 because you are confronted with a lot of things and a lot of things that I wasn't prepared to be confronted with. As I had said, I had watched Predator pretty early, but that's just all violence. It's all violence, and it's all violence with space alien. You know, that no big deal. Like, it's either soldiers shooting each other or soldiers shooting space alien. Aside from a couple skinned bodies, it ain't that much. Rewatching this just for this episode, I counted in the first 10 minutes of this movie, there are kids murdered, a naked woman thrown through a window, a man sets his hand on fire, a man eats worms, there is the mass murder of a theater, and flagrant drug use of snorting cocaine off the top of a car.
There is someone doing rails of coke in the first 20 seconds of the screen lighting up after we get the Troma card. And then 20 seconds later, two children are murdered.
Yeah.
Then immediately after that, there is nudity and sex. And then immediately after that, there is intense violence and a woman's thrown out the window. Those four things happen in the first 90 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, that's like within the first 5. And then 10 more minutes and you get the mass murder and the worm eating and the Japanese man setting his hand on fire. So like it is fucking intense, all of those things happening. And it's all the violence is very bloody. Like the one saving grace is that when they kill the kids, which are Lloyd Kaufman's kids, they're his daughters at the time.
Are they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
At least it's off screen.
Yeah, it's off screen. Yeah. It's just implied. You get a reverse shot of the killer looking at the kids looking cute, and then the killer stabbing off screen. So, but it's still implied. And, this is now the second movie of the Showdown that has family annihilation, except for mine's not the focus. It's just a thing that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
Right after the rails of cocaine and right before the nude woman is impaled. Yeah. And then someone licks the blood off the sword.
Right. Yeah. That's just a gross detail just to be gross, but it's another thing that happens. This is also the inciting incident because the family that is annihilated is the family of the current Kabukiman superhero. The man who is meant to destroy the evil one, but he gets killed before he can finish his mission. And so he's actually not the current Kabukiman. He is the one next in line to be the Kabukiman. The current Kabukiman is the actual Kabuki performer, Mr. Sato, who is putting on a version of the Odd Couple in Kabuki, which is How did you not like that, Brian? How did you not like that?
I did kind of like that. I did kind of like that. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's a good bit.
But this Kabuki theater is also owned by Reginald Stewart. And Reginald Stewart is, the owner of the Stewart Pandex, global conglomerate. He's just your classic 80s, rich villain. It's what he is.
And he's played by the amazing Bill Whedon.
Yeah.
Yes, he's great.
Bill Whedon's great. You'll look at him, you'll recognize him from a lot of stuff. I just saw him in a film that I can't suggest.
Have you seen Psycho Ape? It's an indie film out of the Midwest, and it has a cameo in that. That's what I recently saw him in, though.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've seen Psycho 8, but I've seen something else by that director. Maybe it was just Psycho 8 2 that I saw. But no, the film that I most recently saw him in is called Special Needs Revolt, and it is. I can't fully suggest it. Watch it at your own discretion. But he basically plays Trump, and he, instead of immigrants, he's out to kill everybody with special needs, and then like it puts together like an ICE type militia, and they're all chasing special needs people in the woods, and then they have a bunch of special needs actors fighting against ICE and shooting them, and it's a lot of violence. Yeah, but like you get a coalition of like special needs people and trans people and just like, you know, oppressed minorities fighting against ICE and President Trump, and then it ends with Bill Whedon as Trump, I believe, shitting himself like over and over in front of a crowd.
I'd say the things I know Bill Whedon from is Troma. I just know him from Troma things.
Yeah.
Like he is a recognizable, reoccurring Troma face.
Yes, he was the abortion doctor in Citizen Toxie. Yeah, no, I saw him in Psycho Ape 2 because Kansas Bowling is in Psycho Ape 2.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's Psycho Ape 2, and that director is Addison Bennick, I believe his name is. He's cool.
Yeah, I believe he's pretty familiar with our area, and I know he's friends with Premium Steve, and I think I'm friends with him on like Facebook in like not a real manner, but just a following manner.
Yeah. They'll all be at Gross Fest in Pittsburgh soon. So
yep,
July 31st through August 1st. But yeah,
so Bill Whedon, great actor, great hand for the Troma films, and you know, still acting today. If you look at him, he looks a little bit like the Greasy Strangler, but he's not the Greasy Strangler.
He does a little bit.
They are actually in a movie together, though. Michael St. Michael's, who plays the Greasy Strangler, both him and Bill Whedon are in a movie called The Once and Future Smash, which is it appears to be like a pseudo documentary horror film. It's about two guys who were playing cannibal smash and mouth. They're football cannibals, and they played them in a film, but now they have to fight to the death. I haven't seen the film. I'm only reading about it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, check that out. There is the fake film that they starred in, End Zone 2, wasn't made in 1970, I don't think. It is a film that you can find online on Tubi, though. So I don't know. It seems like a weird meta lore, and I'll check it out eventually, and we'll report back later. But
all right,
Sergeant Kabukiman, he is played by Rick Giannisi, which we love him from Mutant Hunt, and not much else.
No, which is weird because, you know, I a lot of it I don't necessarily find super funny, but I will say dude acts his balls off in this movie. Like, gives it 100%. He is in. He is giving it his all. He's physical. He's a dynamic performer. Like, I just, even though not all the gags and stuff land, he is delivering the goods.
Yeah, he's totally delivering the goods. And like, so Mutant Hunt, he's just kind of buff, hot, you know, rough and tumble guy. But this one, he is actually putting in like a lot of different kind of looks. Like, he's doing a lot of physical comedy. He's doing a lot of, you know, like, you know, bug eyes and looks at the camera and everything. But he's also he's also pathetic sometimes. And he, you know, he like, so he gives himself in different ways, and he's, you know, rather enjoyable. I believe, and this is also one of the reasons why my mom let me rent this movie to begin with, is one of the blurbs that goes straight across the top of the video is that in the New York Times review of this film, somebody said that it's like Columbo meets Jim Carrey. And obviously Jim Carrey is going to sell for me as a kid.
Yeah.
Columbo sells for me as an adult.
Steve, Columbo sells big for future Steve.
But that's a total lie. There's no Columbo in this except for his like just shitty, you know, messy hair.
0.0% Columbo.
Yeah. Like, unless that reviewer just, you know, sees all Italians as the same, I don't.
I think it's just like, what is a detective I know the name of?
Yeah.
Yes, Columbo. Like if they would have said Murder, She Wrote, it would have been just as true.
Yeah.
As to say, not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Rick's fine. I guess he did have a falling out with Lloyd after this film, and I don't remember the lore as to why. Like there was a lot of hard feelings. Like he didn't come back and play Kabuki Man in Citizen Toxie, and like Kabuki Man in Citizen Toxie, I think is portrayed as a bit of a lark on Giannissi, maybe, because he's just like a drunk womanizer and coward. So I don't know if that's like Lloyd taking shots or just Lloyd killing a character. I don't know. But
I'm going to go out on a limb here and just completely project here, but it feels like it was probably something Lloyd did.
Sure, probably, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. He probably told this guy he was going to be the next Jim Carrey, and we've got a $4 million, and you're going to be a next star, and there's going to be, toy rights, and there's going to be the animated series they did a pilot for, and all that. And you're going to be the next big thing. You're going to be Michael Keaton meets Jim Carrey, and then when he was like, "Why isn't the money rolling in?" Uncle Lloyd was probably like, yeah, about the money.
Yeah, because this is right around the time that Playmates picked up Toxic Crusaders, too. That was like 91 is when that toy line came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that toy line, that cartoon.
I know, I read they had a toy line planned for this, and they did do a pilot of an animated series.
Yep.
And obviously none of it came to fruition, so I can see why the relationship went south. He was probably promised the moon and the stars and got his fee and then fuck off.
Right. Yeah. He got nothing in return and wasn't really asked back to do anything. So yeah, not great, but I don't know. I still enjoy the movie and I still will watch this and Mutant Hunt. I have no ill feelings towards either Giannissi or Lloyd Kaufman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or Bill Whedon for that matter. I mean, not that I would, but hey.
Nor should you.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kabuki Man, Harry Griswold, who will become Kabuki Man, goes to investigate this Stuart Pandex production of the Odd Couple because he found the tickets in the hands of the woman that was thrown through the window. And when he gets there, the entire theater is massacred by a bunch of guys with machine guns. And that includes Mr. Sato. And Mr. Sato dies in the arms of Harry Griswold and passes on the Kabuki powers through his mouth and spits worms in his mouth.
He does. He makes out with him, spits dang old slimy, sticky worms in his mouth. And that's how you become... it's like the Santa Claus, except for you get worm spit in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's the Santa Claus, but with mono. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Spider-Man film. You get bit by a Japanese man, you turn into a Kabuki Man.
Everything is a Spider-Man film.
Yep.
I'm learning.
Yep. Everything is a Spider-Man film. Well, I mean, the next thing we deal with that's very important is that Rick loses the love of his life, which is his partner and detective. We get introduced to we get a great scene really because he turns into Kabuki Man and makes a whole mess of chasing the killers, and then everybody sees him in Kabuki makeup, and so the next day at the police station we get a great police station that is just full-on chaos rules police station. I love these type of police station scenes where it's just a mosh pit of fucking criminals and cops running into each other. Like this is the most parody, but I think the best one is RoboCop, obviously, and then you get subsequent parodies after that. Like Last Action Hero has a great one too.
Even a scene before this in another parody of the hard-boiled cop is when he comes home and he chugs a beer and he throws it in the pile, and every corner of his apartment is completely covered with thousands of empty beer cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it's Troma, right? Nothing is done with a deft hand. Everything is 1,000% over the top.
Mhm.
But that was a funny gag of like, I mean, every surface in the apartment is covered with, no exaggeration, thousands of empty beer
Just
cans.
beer cans everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get introduced to his kind of partner and love interest, Connie LaRosa. And Connie's putting him on to the fact that she's investigating this crooked reverend. And then we also learn this crooked reverend is working with Stuart. So we're starting to see all the things come together. And then she takes Harry out on a running date into the park. And this is where I get introduced as a 12-year-old to sexual assault. And this is upsetting.
Yeah, this movie, I mean, I can't imagine how, like, the amount of just rape jokes and just how nonchalant this movie is about. It leads into, you know, we talked about at the beginning with in the first 2 minutes there being cocaine use, child murder, frontal nudity, and intense violence. But who is this movie for? Like, is the question.
Right.
Like,
yeah. The thing is, we know from other Troma movies, this isn't off the table or anything. This isn't, crazy. But when this is your first Troma movie, this is absolutely insane and upsetting. Like, obviously, Brian and I have talked about like growing up rural and growing up, in like conservative areas. And, I don't know how strict Brian's parents were with nudity and things like that, but my parents were. And so I don't know how many naked women I had seen up to this point, but this movie accounts for probably a good majority after having watched it, because you have the woman up front, you have Connie assaulted in the park now, and Lotus, the love scene between her and Kabukiman towards the end. So like at this point, I'm just being inundated with terrible connections, because almost every instance of nudity in this movie is also met with violence. And I was not prepared for this. I shouldn't have been seeing this. I can admit that.
I remember seeing some Troma movies. I don't think this one, but seeing Troma movies on USA Up All Night. Like sneaking out, into the living room when my dad was watching Rhonda Shear or whatever, and catching glimpses of nudity and stuff like that. It wasn't something that's like, hey, go check this out. But it also was like, he probably knew I was in the room watching it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that the intense sexual violence of this movie is even like amongst Troma movies is a little bit high.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm, again, the one movie that they want to market as for everyone, like they go so hard with that.
Yeah. I think maybe Nukem High also had some of this. True, it's hard.
But hard. No one's making action figures on Class of Nukem High. You know what I mean?
No.
And like that might be my favorite Troma movie, but like that is not something somebody was going to have an animated series made of. You know what I mean?
I don't think.
Nor is there anything that would be, because in this movie, the sexual assault scene, then 90 seconds later turns into the big transformation scene.
Yeah.
That's like almost borderline Power Rangers-ish, It
gets completely glossed over with like this full-on slapstick comedy routine. I looked up what the differences were between the cuts of the films, because I realized I had never seen the PG-13 cut. despite it always being listed as a PG-13 movie. If you look it up on IMDb, it's listed as a PG-13 movie. And even on Tubi, they say it's PG-13, and there's no fucking way it is. So I had to look up what the differences were. And apparently, in the PG-13 version, they obviously cut all the nudity, and before Connie's shirt gets ripped down, they cut to a juggler in the park and just use a reaction shot of him getting scared and running away. And then that's the end of it. And then it, turns to the fight scene between Kabukiman and the gang. But yeah, it is like, they go from this dire, like, terrible situation of like all these men holding this woman down to fucking chopstick gags and cartwheels into a light post where he bangs his head and goes, ooh, and, shakes the birdies away. Like, it is, it is just like the most tone deaf. To say tonally inconsistent would be an understatement. Yeah. But yeah, just absolutely tone deaf to what's happening. But like, it just fries your brain to watch that type of shit, especially as a kid. And that's where I'm sticking with that. This is trauma. It is trauma to watch Troma as a child. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't watch this as a kid. You shouldn't watch any Troma movies as a kid. Yeah. Toxic Avenger, which is, probably the poster child for like, if any kid knew a Troma movie at that time, that would have been it. Like, also just wholly inappropriate for kids. Yeah. I hadn't seen the original Toxic Avenger until like much later. But like you said, Toxie 2 and 3 were always on USA and Cinemax. Because they were also more cartoonish along the lines of the Toxic Crusader TV show, which like I guess if technically I think Toxic Crusaders I had seen before Sergeant Kabukiman, and that's how I like made the connection when I saw the tape. I was like, oh yeah, sure. Troma. Look, he's a clown, Mom. Hey, can I watch the clown movie? I don't want to watch the clown movie anymore. Mom, they murdered children and licked the blood off the sword. I don't want to watch the clown movie anymore. The man had a bug penis. I don't want to watch the clown movie anymore. Yeah. So yes, after this terrible assault, and Kabukiman does somewhat save the day by beating up some of the bad guys, kills some of them. There's a real great line between a bystander and a cop, and the cop is taking statements down on a pad, and this old man says, I don't know why you're writing notes. Only 3 people died. You don't have to take notes about that. Yeah. Is this supposed to happen in Tromaville? Like this is no, this is New York. New York, right? Yeah. No, this is Central Park. Oh yeah, of course, NYPD. Dumb question. Yeah, this is Central Park, NYPD, and pretty much everything is like either Hoboken, New Jersey, or just New York proper in this film. But yeah, Connie gets put in the hospital. Then they go after her and they kill her in the hospital, which is also just like disturbing in a way, because she is like, she's helpless in a hospital bed, and they just come in and hit her with heroin and she just dies. Like there's no like retribution. It's just a mean scene. Yeah. It's just mean because like she's completely helpless and like begging for her life, and it's just like that's even rewatching that today, I was just like I really don't like that at all. Like no. But yeah, Kabukiman goes to take vengeance on that. Goes to where the Reverend is harboring all the criminals, the gang that just attacked her. Tries to fight them, turns into a clown. And I think we get some good stuff here, Brian. I don't know about you. You seem to be pretty down on the funny. I think this is all funny. He's doing clown stuff. I mean, it's not. It is. It's just extremely over the top.
And it's fine if you go extremely over the top once or twice, but like, how many times do you go back to that well?
I think you keep going back to it.
Troma movies, so you're going to keep going back to it over and over.
I know.
again.
And this just, I think this is like just emblematic of, we've talked about this on the show before. Steve is a Troma kid growing up. I was more of a Full Moon kid, growing up. And I think the thing about Troma is it's just sensory overload to the point where, like, pretty quickly you're like, nothing means nothing. Like, there's just, to quote Randy Savage again, nothing means nothing. Like, it's completely over the top. It's hard to be shocked when just such insane shit is happening every 30 seconds.
Yeah. I think this is like a difference in both our raising and our ADHD, in that Brian gets overstimulated and I need overstimulation to feel normal. So
yeah,
that's why I have no problem watching YouTube and listening to black metal in the background. So like, I just need I need as much noise happening at once to cancel all the other noise in the brain.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, we definitely differ there.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where it's like, if you showed me a clip from the movie and you showed one of, honestly, 20 different scenes, I'd be like, oh, that movie looks really fun. That looks wild. But then when you see it in such close succession, after a while, you're just like, I mean, we're 51 minutes into this movie, and, I'm just scrubbing it to make sure I'm consistent with time here. Like, we're, let's say 50, what is it? Over halfway through the movie. And this is like the 18th batshit thing that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a full unicycle chase. This is also where Troma's infamous car flip gag comes in, because they
right.
Again, $4 million into this movie, they are going to spend it all, and they spend it all on this amazing car flip gag. And they reuse it in almost every subsequent film after it. Because
I was going to say, was this the origin of the car flip gag?
Yes.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Because you can see the chase with all the other sedans in it. And then because this movie came out, was officially released on video and everything alongside Tromeo and Juliet. Tromeo and Juliet also included the car flip gag, and then it just got put into everything after that. Because they're just getting their, hey.
It is. I'm rewatching it right now. It's an unfucking believable car flip.
Yeah. It's
so good.
It's so good. But
it's so much height.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like, I don't know how that stuntman didn't just have his spine compacted when it comes down. Like, it should have just been like almost getting out of the car like an accordion man. But yeah, we get a wonderful chase. We get a clown running through a birthday party in which goons start shooting machine guns at the birthday party. Full of children, and the children chasing the clown, children chasing the goons, birthday cake blowing up, drunk ass mom hanging around, fucking rules. And then just little simple gags.
Like this clown chase, between the clown at the church it's like 8 minutes of clown things. It's like, it's too much.
And then it's also, they still do little simple gags. Like when Harry tries to go over a railing, he got to throw his stomach up over the railing first and then climb over.
Yeah.
And then it all ends in this, fantastic car driving through the front of a building scene. And Harry gets in trouble with the police, and they do a match cut, to which he just points out, he's like, great dissolve, isn't it? Because they do a dissolve from, the cherry on top of a car to his red nose as he's standing in the office with his chief. It's such a good gag. I like it.
They love the fourth wall breaking. That's for sure. Uncle Lloyd loves it.
Yeah. I think this is such a good movie for people who have superhero fatigue at this point, because it still hits all the superhero notes. Like there is a 1989 Batman gag in this where he pulls up a criminal by his lapels and he's like, "Who are you?" And they both directly stare down the barrel of the camera before turning back into the scene, and he goes, "I'm Kabukiman." Like it's
yeah, this would have been like so top of mind at this point too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is during the first wave of kind of superhero movies. They do like Superman gag in there. So yeah, I think you go back to it and you can still see like a lot of the origins of that stuff. And you go, oh yeah, this is just a superhero movie. Like, it's insane. It's loud. It's full of things that you can only see as an adult. You shouldn't be watching as a kid, but it's still insane. It's still a superhero movie. They they have this whole upcoming training montage with Lotus and Griswold, because he realizes he doesn't have control of his powers, and that's a thing that you got to do for superheroes. You got to train them. But this training includes fucking getting hit in the balls, because of course it does. It's a Troma film. He does give a pretty good radicalizing speech though. When they are by the Statue of Liberty, he points out, he's like, "I think our world's controlled by corporations and politicians and the most evil people in the world as they try to, rot our brains and make us insane." It's like, hell yeah, man. I think maybe this movie radicalized me as a kid too. I didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, he gives literally just a straight up Lloyd Kaufman speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's definitely just Lloyd on the page. But, it progresses in the same way a superhero movie does. He learns his powers. He uses his powers to go fight the bad guys, defeats all the henchmen, and then they have a final showdown with Reginald Stewart at the docks. And there is this prophecy they keep going through. And the prophecy is like, once the tiger eats the nubile, and the dragon jumps through the hoops of Jupiter, and the monkey rides the jaguar, then the evil one will be reborn. And so Stewart has been collecting all these things, using his wealth and power, and he is ready to finally fulfill his prophecy on the night that he's supposed to, and ascend to the throne of the evil one. And he gets everything in place. And part of that is he's taken Lotus, the woman who's been training Griswold to become Kabukiman. He's taken her hostage. He's going to have her eaten by a tiger. And Griswold, who can only find her monkey butler, takes the monkey butler and uses him smelling her bra to find them at the docks. Which, I mean, do you like the monkey butler at least, Brian? Do you like
I'm okay with the monkey butler, but I will say you skipped over my favorite gag of the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
which is turning the pimp and the prostitute into sushi.
Yes. Oh yes. I did skip over that. There's an entire montage of Kabukiman doing cleanup around the city, and then they have the classic newspaper headlines about like Kabukiman cleans up crime and shit like that. And at one point, there's a pimp and a hooker fighting, and the hooker's ass is out, and he says, he does a one-liner of like, "Oh, so you want to have a roll in the hay, do you? Well, how about a sushi roll?" And rolls them up with a giant nori wrap, and then chops them up into maki rolls on the street. And it's dismembered body parts. Again, that's not
the giant roll. Like, yeah, they're giant, right?
Yeah.
And they actually made these practical giant rolls, and then you're seeing like hands and feet sticking out of the rice.
Yeah. It's
a great gag.
It's a great gag. Now, again, not for a kid. Pretty sure it's not in the movie.
Not for a kid. But there's also like 5 other gags in that montage, and that's the only good one. All the rest of them, like the one where he like ties up the bad guy with the noodles, and then he like leaves a sign that says thief on board instead of baby on board. It's like, oh God.
But that is calling
like, at
back
this
to
point,
that thief is always stealing stuff and saying radio not on board, or like that kind of thing was kind of his calling card.
Yeah, that's true. It's just again, I know this is the Troma way, but sometimes quantity is not better than quality, and that's never something that's not in the Troma vocabulary.
But Brian, that's also
restraint is not in the Troma vocabulary.
Brian, that's also the Garfield cameo. So why are you mad at that? That's the Garfield cameo, Brian.
What's the Garfield cameo?
When he ties the thief up in the car, because there's a big giant there's a big giant window shade that is Garfield in, I don't know, paradise or whatever, and it says born to be pampered.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's like one of those things everyone used to put up in their window, when it was too sunny, so it does, their freaking dashboard doesn't melt or whatever.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore for some reason. I don't know.
No, nobody does that. Nobody has car bras either.
Yeah.
Sorry for the side quest there.
We're just trying to figure out what went wrong from the 90s.
I have a big giant box of like old, McDonald's toys that I just, collect old, shitty McDonald's toys. And the box that I've had them in for years and years is a car bra box. And I love the box more than I love the toys inside.
More than you love the pancake transformers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Changeables are amazing. A new series of those just came out.
Oh, really?
No shit. I will get occasionally sucked into going and getting. I mean, the pails. I always get the McBoo pails and all that stuff. But I will get sucked into a McDonald's toy from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got kids. You can make lies and get
I can justify it.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm getting 2 Happy Meals.
Yeah, you can get 3 at a time if you want. We don't want those, Dad. Yeah, it's not for you. Don't worry about it. You get the hamburger.
Shut up. Eat these cheeseburgers. Just plain cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the end of the film where the monkey butler, who actually just has voice lines grumbled a lot of the time. He doesn't make monkey noises so much as he just makes little simple Neanderthal grunts of like gimme this, gimme. He leads Harry Griswold to the docks, and they start a gunfight and shoot a bunch of people down. But the police show up. They take Stewart into custody. But at that time, he breaks free and has one of his henchwomen eaten by the tiger to start the prophecy. And that is another thing I should not have seen as a kid, because it is gruesome, because it's a real tiger. Yeah. They spent a lot of money on real animals in this film because they had $4 million when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, this is again, they just are. You can't give these people this much money.
You should have never let them have money.
You should have never given this much money.
Yeah. But yeah, another gruesome thing. Stewart turns into this bug monster, starts spraying like venom acid on people and melting their face, goes into a cocoon, and reemerges as the evil one, which looks like some sort of Japanese Sentai, fight monster. But also both his hands are Hitler heads, and he has a bug dick that's out. And then for whatever reason, he makes the Hitler heads kiss each other because they're into it.
Open mouth, all teeth, kissing. Yeah, I just would love. Here's what I imagine happened. To them, $4 million was infinite money.
Yes.
So they were like, we have $4 million. We can do whatever we want. So they all sat in a room and got super baked and came up with this idea. The Hitler head hands making out, the whole thing. And they were like, guys, let's make a pact right now. No matter what we say, we are shooting.
Yeah.
We cannot go back on this. And that's what they did.
They had to have been watching like a bunch of Kamen Rider and Supaida Man fucking, on bootleg DVD, or not DVD, but like bootleg VHS or like whatever from a trip to Japan when they were filming Toxie 2, and just like watched a whole bunch of this crazy culture, and then, tried to implement it to the ending of this film because they thought it would make the Japanese investors happy or something. And so they come up with this insane monster that doesn't make any sense. The only thing that you remember is that he has bug dick. That is just, it's fully animatronic. Like, this is a prep to Gwar is what it is. Like, this is, even though Gwar has been around, years before this, like, if you saw this, you're like, oh, I guess I'm ready for a Gwar show now. Because that guy has, monster penis that's out all the time too.
Yeah, the just the design of the monster. And I mean, he's only on screen for a few minutes. It does feel a little anticlimactic because they're like, the evil one, and then he shows up and he pays off, at least in terms of just the insanity, but never like moves from that spot.
Right.
And is promptly, exploded. And
also they subvert the prophecy by having, they originally had like a lemur, like it's just a lemur. It wasn't an actual monkey, but they were going to have a lemur ride a jaguar, a real jaguar. But then they subvert the prophecy by having Lotus's monkey butler climb in to a jaguar car. Isn't that a funny joke? And then Lotus has to pull the monkey out of the car and gives him a scolding and calls him a silly monkey. And then that's the prophecy doesn't come true. And then Stewart just explodes, and Kabukiman doesn't even really fight him. He just like hugs him, and then they both explode. And that's anticlimactic because there isn't like a real fight scene or anything between the two of them. It just, crazy design, nice explosion. Doesn't matter.
This movie absolutely has no business being an hour and 45 minutes long.
No, but when you consider that every superhero movie now is 2+, you go, isn't that nice? An hour 45.
I haven't seen a superhero movie since, Dark Knight Rises. But yeah, this movie plays way better at an hour 22. Like, seriously, cut a solid 20, if not 25 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah,
you would never miss it. Never miss it.
Look, I'm not going to fight you on that too much. I do think it's too long too. Like, get to some of these gags quicker.
From the origin of him becoming Kabukiman to him like accepting that he's Kabukiman, like that part is just way too long. Like,
yeah.
Get the training thing going a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get training quicker.
I agree.
Maybe the clown stuff could have been saved for a sequel or something, but obviously you gave him $4 million.
The clown stuff for me could have been completely cut. Yeah. But I get it. The funniest part, honestly, is him with the big shoes stomping out of the church.
Yeah.
That's the funniest bit. You could have just cut it there. The whole chase, I think, all could have been lost. I mean, that's like 8 minutes you could save right there.
I would say lose the part where they go to the birthday party, but you can't lose the visual of the unicycle being chased by 3 giant sedans, and then the car flip. You can't lose the car flip.
You can't, obviously you can't lose the car flip. In hindsight, you can't lose the car flip.
Yeah.
I can see why this movie was traumatic, because it was sold to you as a appropriate movie
as a Jim Carrey like. That means it was supposed to be like The Mask, which was probably top of mind for that New York Times writer, because there's a lot of Mask-esh gags as the way he just pulls things out of thin air. Like, it's Mask-esh. But this was sold to me as an appropriate movie, age appropriate, because it was PG-13. But whatever the mix-up was, I saw this horrible version, and it scarred me forever. But also, it made me search more Troma movies.
Yeah,
sure.
Side note, I was terrified of The Mask when I saw the ads for it. I thought it was a horror movie. I thought he was like getting possessed by this mask, and I was absolutely terrified.
I don't know if I don't remember the full timeline on this, but having saw the Mask movie, obviously I was a fan, and somehow I came into possession of a CD. It was like an animated, voice acted CD-ROM of the comic book. And I don't know if you know this, the comic book is insanely violent. Like, it is.
No, I didn't even know there was a comic book.
Yeah, it was based off a comic book, which I believe was either put out by Image or Dark Horse. But it is.
I think it's Dark Horse, yeah.
Yeah, it was another piece of media that I shouldn't have had as a kid. But, like, it was just like you pop in the CD-ROM and you watch a comic book kind of animate itself. But it was violent as fuck. Because, like, there's just... I mean, he just literally kills people throughout that comic book. But, yep. I don't think it traumatized me because it was mostly just violence. But Troma definitely traumatized me, obviously, because it turned me into a Troma fan. So, more than anything, that's what I should be blaming this movie on. But yep.
Lasting effect.
Lasting scars. But that is Sergeant Kabukiman NYPD.
Yeah, you definitely should not have been seeing that at that young of an age. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the personal childhood trauma, which I mean, we're all coming at it from kind of a subjective place. I believe that. I feel that. I feel that one right there.
Thank you. Thank you for feeling my pain.
Makes sense. it makes sense. I think this is again, I'm not a diehard Troma fan. There are ones that I really like. The ones that I like, I think, are ones that are a little bit more, I don't want to say subdued, because they're not necessarily subdued. They're just, I don't know, more intentionally paced. Like, that shows a little bit of restraint, you know? Like,
they don't have $4 million and a Namco behind them.
Yeah, Class of Nukem High is a great example. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there's build up. Yes, there's silliness. I love the original Toxic Avenger, but like where you're getting the charm from is the outlandish performances, the bizarre line deliveries, you know, all that sort of stuff. This one is just like, yeah, they again should have never gave him that money. If you would have gave him $2 million or a million, I think they would have made a better movie.
Yeah.
And a movie that lasts the test of time more, because this movie is like, for being its highest budget movie and like having, you know, fairly, you know, iconic imagery, like they made a character. This is not what I would consider to be like one of their more popular or more memorable movies. Like, it kind of fell flat. It has its following, right?
Yeah.
As any like kind of cult movie does. But this is far down the line in terms of movie. I think of people as like, you know, Night of the Chicken Dead being a bigger deal than Sergeant Kabukiman amongst like Troma fans.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, Poultrygeist is probably one of the most,
or Poultrygeist.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
Poultrygeist
sub name. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one is most top of mind for a lot of people. Tromeo and Juliet, because of the James Gunn connection, is probably you know, more well regarded. I don't know where people stand with Terra Firma. I really like Terra Firma though.
Yeah, I think of that one first before this too.
Yeah.
I mean, I even think of like, I mean, in recent years, because I know it was like not, I don't think it was super widely available before, but like Troma's War, I think of people like liking that movie more than this one.
Yeah.
Not liking more necessarily, but like it be having more fanfare around it in recent years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't hear a lot about this movie.
No,
if you compare like the makeup and stuff that they do, or even just like a rubber suit and Night Beast compared to the costume for Kabukiman, I'm just like, that $4 million was spent all on animals, cocaine, and the car flip, unfortunately, because like they have the people to do good makeup and practical effects, even if it is on like the cheesy side, but like part mask with like the balaclava kind of thing, it just feels kind of lazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like where's all the fucking bladder effects? You know what I mean? Where's all the shit that you expect from it honestly, besides all the just over the topness of it all, like where it feels less Troma like on screen
Yeah.
than a lot of other Troma movies.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that, again, the whole premise for making this film was to make something more marketable and mainstream, which was like a fight, for doing that. And so I wonder how much of like just during production or pre-production, things were getting nixed and said, you can't do that. You can't have that kind of, because they have like the one bladder effect at the end with the evil one, and Stewart's face is like bubbling up and everything. They're doing that.
Yeah.
But, usually when they do those bladder effects, it leads to like some sort of oozing, pussing, exploding, zit or boil or something, something disgusting. It leads to something even grosser. And so I wonder how much of that, I was just like, well, we can't do that for this. We're trying to be PG-13. And Lloyd loses his shit and, kicks over a trash can or something and screams at somebody. And then, comes back later for something else. But I don't know. I can see, I think just for me personally, because of my connection to this film, it's just popular to me. I don't know how well regarded it is. Because I just have those blinders on. But I there's still Troma movies I like more, So, yeah.
I'm just looking for the charm, the quaint charm of such films as Surf Nazis Must Die.
Yeah, sure.
Which again is another one I probably prefer over this movie, to be honest. But
it's a Troma film, but is that? That's more of a Troma distribution, isn't it?
But doesn't it? I feel like we did an episode on Surf Nazis Must Die.
No,
I think like once upon a time, didn't we?
No,
because isn't that the one where they eat all the rotten fish and shit?
No, that's just Surf 2.
Oh, I'm thinking of Surf 2.
End of the trilogy.
Yeah, Surf Nazis Must Die is I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah,
but,
Surf Nazis 2 is a Troma distributed film, but it's not a Lloyd Kaufman directed film. It's a film that also features Kevin Costner.
Of course. All right. Steve, why don't you also tell them boils and ghouls at home what we got going on over at the Patreon, because we got fun stuff happening over there pretty damn regularly as well.
Yes. You can just follow us anywhere. Just search Halloween is Forever. We pop up everywhere, but we especially pop up on patreon.com/Halloween is Forever. And if you log on there for $5, you get all kinds of goodnesses. And one of those goodnesses is you get to sit in on live recordings of the shows. You can see Brian with his half shirt. You can see everybody's beers and drinks. You can see my gloop glop. And then
I'll show you a little nip if you want.
He'll pop a nip out for you.
I'll pop a nip. I'll pop a foot.
You get reviews and recos. You get all kinds of extra stuff on the actual Patreon. And on top of all that, you get a monthly exclusive podcast. And this month, we are working on our 7th episode of God Is Not Forever, where we explore cinema and try to figure out ways to kill God.
Yeah, we're cinenauts. We're on a cinematic a voyage to try to figure out what we can do to to commit deicide. Honestly, we want to build the skills and learn the lessons necessary to ultimately commit deicide. I've been trying to kill God for several years now. It's been my New Year's resolution every year. I've been unsuccessful up to this point, but I'm feeling good, real good about where we are this year. I was in a church today. I did not burst into flames, but I was damn close. I could smell sulfur the entire time I was in there. And what that tells me is he's getting a little nervous. You can also listen to our entire backlog of all our other Patreon exclusive podcast series. Steve made me watch all the Fast and the Furious movies, which is fucking unbearable, but it's really fun to hear us talk about them and make fun of them. We also listened to watched a bunch of really fucking terrible, for the most part, 90s kind of forgotten comedy movies that have horror ties to them. We also did a bunch of really dog shit, like right-wing Christian propaganda horror movies about like how you shouldn't jack off and you shouldn't be gay or whatever. Like a bunch of real dog shit stuff out there.
Don't get abortions.
Yeah, don't have abortions. Don't be gay. All that stuff. And it's fun to make fun of those pieces of shit as well. So patreon.com/Halloween is forever. Give us your sticky, stinky, sweaty money. Only $5 a month, and it'll get you all that stuff. And you can join us here live on the Discord as we record and see my nip slips and all that sort of stuff. If I haven't said it 10 times already, go check out the Halloween Horror Hour. Go Tubi, search it, or on YouTube. It's so much fun. And if you have anything remotely close to our taste in media, you're going to have a really, really fun time. And keep a lookout in the fall. If you're listening to this near the fall of 2026 for season 4, is going to be out there as well. So thank you once again, my friend. It was super fun.
Always
we
blast,
appreciate
guys.
you.
Yep. Thanks for coming on.
For the Halloween's Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Hallow Ian.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, bye.